Good morning, students. Today, in this lecture number 18, we are going to discuss the well-known novel by Daniel Defoe entitled as Robinson Crusoe. This Robinson Crusoe is a very well-known novel that highlights the central ideas, issues which centers around the protagonist Robinson Crusoe and his journey, his life and state, his overall philosophy and experience on the island, his company with the slave named Friday, and his encounter with the cannibals. All these things highlights the very idea of the novel Robinson Crusoe, around whom it moves. Dear students, when we go through this particular novel, we will found that what the human being had to do and what not. Because this particular novel, Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, is a philosophical novel. Because the very purpose of the study of this novel is because, like the Francis Bacon's essays, which we have studied in the in the earlier semester third, we got the very life-changing idea by Francis Bacon. Because as a philosopher, social reformer, observer, and the moral one, he supporter of the morality one. Francis Bacon has very well expressed his views on so many issues. For example, love, marriage, solitude, revenge, friendship, study, and so on. So the things which are related to human being or around whom the human life moves, these things are very important and necessary for the human beings that Robinson Crusoe very well highlights through this particular novel. Besides that, this particular novel is also very well centers the idea of the philosophy. Because as a philosopher, Daniel Defoe very well expresses his philosophy through the character Robinson Crusoe. Because Robinson Crusoe is the central character, or we can say the protagonist of the novel, around whom the very basic idea of the novel revolves or centers around. And in short, this particular idea which we or about which we talk, that is very important and useful as well. And when we go through this particular philosophy, we will find that how one gets, how one will feel in solitude, or we can say isolation. In short, we say ekantavas, away from society, humanity, crowd, human being, or the animal world. Means away from cloth, marketing, shopping, money, business, and so on, and also away from parents, particularly mother, father, brother, sister, neighbors, relatives, and so on. So, how we one feel that is very well discussed through this particular idea. Because solitude means this Robinson Crusoe lives away from the parents. Means parents include mother, father, sister, brother. He also lives away from his relatives, also from his friends, away from society or crowd, or away from business, or we also say away from learning, or away from the very material world for which he is hunting. So this particular character, Robinson Crusoe, totally detached, separate होने, अलग होने, दूर जाने, बाजूला जाने. So this particular character, Robinson Crusoe, is totally detached from the humanity, from the parents, from the family, from the relatives, from the friends, from his schooling, college life experience, also the life of a man, married life, and so on. So, this particular detachment, which one must have the attachment in the beginning, but there is no use of such attachment. Hence, he was totally detached, or we can say simply he is totally separated from that, separated or detached from that because of his very over ambitious nature. It is always said that over ambitious, we can say, ati large. it means that it is also said that one must be ambitious but not over ambitious. One must be ambitious but not over ambitious. But what happened in the case of this Robinson Crusoe, the well-known, we can say, the philosopher around whom the novel revolves, is became the ambitious character, and in that ambitiousness, greed, more for struggle for more and more, means और थोड़ा, the लालच never ends. लालच कभी थमत नहीं. And same time, this particular over ambitiousness leads Robinson Crusoe towards the destruction, towards the, we can say, the solitude life, or we can say it, the solitary, म्हणजे एकांकी life, एकांत किंवा एकांकी life. And this particular solitary life of solitude or life of isolation, totally away from the humanity, that made him the, we can say, the philosophical novel, or which made Robinson Crusoe as philosopher one, and who was totally engaged in the study of this Bible. He totally became spiritual, and we say totally became spiritual and religious one. And when we go through this particular philosophy that he found in the solitude, that the word unique philosophy he got, and in that he learned that there is nothing is important in the world than the advice of the parents, because whatever the parent expects, desires, or wish, that is only for the welfare, benefit, development progress, prosperity of the child, nothing else than that. So, how we can think or guess that any father will give him heart, or father is responsible for one's destruction? We can't think like that. So, my dear friends, when we think about this novel, Robinson Crusoe, we came across so many themes, so many issues, so many ideas, so many, we can say, incident situations we came across. But the very reality that we learn from this particular novel is the life philosophy that one has to follow the parents, because parents decision, request, or the very, we can say, order, we have to always follow that he, because the very one thing that Robinson Crusoe has not only followed his father. Whatever his father had said, he has rejected, he has neglected, he has ignored. वडिलांनी सांगितलं की तुम्ही आपला व्यवसाय सांभाळा, त्याच्यामध्ये सुद्धा चांगली भरभराट आहे, यश आहे, संपत्ती आहे, आणि त्यामध्येच मी इतक्या वर्षापासून करत आहे. परंतु वडिलांची ही गोष्ट न ऐकता रॉबिन्सन क्रुसो समुद्रमार्गे समुद्रातील व्यवसाय निवडण्याचा प्रयत्न करतो, आणि तो काही काळासाठी तो यशस्वी होतो. परंतु मधल्या काळामध्ये तो अजून थोडा अजून म्हणण्यामध्ये तो एक चांगला शुगर प्लांटेशन बिझनेस ओपन करतो ब्राझीलमध्ये. तिथून तो यशस्वी होतो, चांगला पैसे कमवतो आणि चांगले फर्म उभी करतो. परंतु तेवढ्यावर तो न थांबता अजून पैशाच्या लालचीपोटी तो काय करतो, वेगवेगळ्या गुलामाच्या शोधात तो फिरत असतो. म्हणजेच गुलामाच्या शोधात म्हणजे एका ठिकाणून गुलाम आणणे आणि दुसऱ्या ठिकाणी ते विकणे, म्हणजे जो काही मार्जिन त्याला आपण कमिशन म्हणतो त्याच्यावर तो धंदा करण्यासाठी जातो. आणि थोडक्यामध्ये काय होतं की तो काही व्यापाऱ्यासोबत जात वेळेस त्यांचं जहाज मोडून जातं, आणि त्या जहाजामध्ये जे त्याच्यासोबत होते सर्व बुडून मरतात, आणि एकटाच जो आहे रॉबिन्सन क्रुसो तो जिवंत राहतो. आणि तो आजूबाजूला पाहतो तर सगळीकडे काय समुद्र आणि पाणी दिसतं, आणि काही अंतरावर त्याला एक बेट दिसतं, आणि त्या बेटावर तो जातो. आणि त्या बेटावर गेल्यानंतर तो बघतो की तिथं काहीच नाही, कुठली माणूस वस्ती नाही, काही नाही, काहीच नाही. मग जे काही वस्तू त्याला लागतात, तो जिथं त्याचं जहाज बुडालं होतं तिथं त्याच्या काही वस्तू तरंगत असतात. तो जशी जशी गरज पडेल, जसं वेळ भेटेल त्या पद्धतीनं त्याची एक सामान तिथून तो घेऊन येतो, आणि तिथं एक झोपडी टाकून तो आपलं राहतो. सुटकेसाठी भरपूर प्रयत्न करतो, परंतु त्याला तिथं काहीच भेटत नाही. असं मी राहतो 20 वर्षापेक्षा जास्त वर्ष तो तिथं राहतो. आणि जेव्हा तो तिथं राहतो तर 20-25 वर्षाच्या काळामध्ये एकांतवासात राहतो, आणि तिथं त्याला कळतं की काय वडिलांनी आपल्याला सांगितलं होतं आणि आपण पाळलं नाही, त्यांचं ऐकलं नाही, आणि त्याचा परिणाम म्हणजेच काय आहे की नक्कीच आपल्याला वडिलांचा शाप लागला असेल, वडिलांची आत्मा दुखावली असेल, आणि त्याचा परिणाम म्हणून आज मी इथं एकांतवासात राहायला आलो, आणि इथं कुणीच नाही. मग इथं त्याला कळतं की वडिलांचे शब्द किती महत्त्वाचे असतात, त्याची विनंती ही किती अंतरात्म्यातून असते, आणि त्यांचा शाप की त्यांची भावना दुखावणं किती वाईट असतं हे रॉबिन्सन क्रुसोला कळतं. जेव्हा तो मग तिथं तो पूर्णपणे एकटा होऊन मग आध्यात्मिक धार्मिक पुस्तके वाचत असतो, आणि एक नैतिक आध्यात्मिक धार्मिक आणि फिलॉसॉफर ज्याला म्हणतो आपण तात्विक तत्ववेत्ता बनतो, आणि तिथं तो आपलं जीवन कहाणी थोडक्यामध्ये नॅरेट करतो ह्या पर्टिक्युलर नावेल रॉबिन्सन क्रुसोद्वारे. म्हणजे थोडक्यामध्ये रॉबिन्सन क्रुसोची जी कहाणी आहे ते एका खलाशाची आहे की जो आपल्या आईवडिलांच्या इच्छेविरुद्ध वागतो आणि आईवडिलांच्या इच्छेविरुद्ध एखादा व्यवसाय निवडण्याचा प्रयत्न करतो आणि त्याचे धीरगंभीर किती वाईट परिणाम होतात याचं एकमेव उदाहरण म्हणजे हे नॉव्हेल रॉबिन्सन क्रुसो, जो की एक फॅमिली मेंबर म्हणून आनंदित होता. भाऊ, आई, वडील सर्व. वडिलांचा व्यवस्थित व्यवसाय होता, तरी वडिलांची विनंती झुगारून तो समुद्रमार्गे आपलं नशीब प्रयत्न करतो बिझनेस करण्यासाठी आणि काही काळासाठी तो यशस्वी होतो, परंतु त्याचे परिणाम तो दीर्घकाळ भोगतो आणि तो एकही म्हणजे पूर्ण आयुष्य त्याचं वयाच्या 25 ते वयाच्या 50 वर्षापर्यंत जे पूर्ण उमेदीचं जीवन जगण्याचं, लग्न करण्याचं, व्यवसाय करण्याचं, लोकांसाठी आईवडिलाची सेवा करण्याचं जे काही कार्य असतं तो तिथं एकांतवासात घालतो. आणि जेव्हा तो शेवटी एका खलाशाच्या कॅप्टनच्या पोटावर बसून तो आपली सुटका करून घेतो, तेव्हा घरी येतो, तेव्हा ही फाउंड दॅट नो पॅरेंट्स आले. तेव्हा त्याला कळतं की आपल्या आईवडील ह्या जगामध्येच नाहीत. मग मला सांगा मित्रांनो, विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, याच्यापेक्षा वाईट काय असू शकेल? म्हणून तुम्ही आईवडिलांची जी काय विनंती असेल ती प्रामाणिकपणे ऐकावी आणि त्यांचा जो उद्देश असतो प्रत्येक गोष्टीमागे हा नक्कीच काय असतो, तो चांगला असतो. आणि कुठलेच पॅरेंट्स हे कुठल्याच मुलाला चुकीचा किंवा वाईट संदेश किंवा शिकवण देत नसतात. म्हणून this particular novel which we have discussed is about the very journey of Robinson Crusoe. And in this particular novel, this particular character, Robinson Crusoe, highlights various issues and things which we are going to discuss through it. And beside this particular novel, Robinson Crusoe gives us the very detailed picture of the society of the time of Restoration Age, because when we go through this particular novel, we will find that this particular novel is a very example of the Restoration Age, because Robinson Crusoe is not the one individual, one young generation child, but he is the representative or prototype of each and every class at that time. So Robinson Crusoe, the novel, is not revolved around one, but he is a representative of that age, and the many children at that time, the time of Restoration Age, where totally goes against the father's will, desire, expectations, and requests. And in reality, when they cross it, what happens, we will see, or we have seen through the example of Robinson Crusoe. So, Robinson Crusoe get each and everything in the form of knowledge, in the form of philosophy, in the form of solitariness. The value of the parents, value of the friends, value of the relatives, and value of the each and everything that he has left behind in the form of refusal to the request of the father, but that is no use now. That is of no use now. So, my dear students, just you think that there is no use of such behavior that is not useful for us. So, in short, with this brief information about this particular novel, Robinson Crusoe, in the next lecture we will discuss this particular novel, we can say chapter wise, and each and every chapter in this novel is very useful when we go through it, because it is a novel which gives us the detailed picture of the Restoration Society, detailed picture of the humanity, detailed picture of one individual experience, which how much it is useful to us. That is also we will get it through this particular novel, Robinson Crusoe. So, with this brief information about this novel, I stop here. Thank you very much.